You will spend 25 years of your life unconscious, lying in the dark, completely switched off, and nobody can fully explain why. Tonight, billions of human beings will close their eyes and disappear from the world for 8 hours. The street outside will be empty. Every house on your road will be full of people who are, for all intents and purposes, gone. And the strangest thing about it is what happens while you're not there. So here's the question almost nobody stops to ask properly. What if we just didn't? What if your body simply never needed to switch off? 25 extra years of being awake. No groggy mornings. No alarm clocks. No wasted nights. One long, continuous, fully conscious life from your first breath to your last. It sounds like a gift. It sounds like a superpower. But the answer to what would actually happen is one of the strangest things in biology. And it might change the way you feel about closing your eyes tonight. Let's start with what most people get wrong. They think sleep is just rest. It isn't. Resting is what you do when you sit on the sofa. Sleep is something completely different. And here's the part almost no one knows. Skip enough nights and a kind of chemical sludge starts building up inside your brain. The same sludge that's been linked to Alzheimer's. The same sludge linked to the slow forgetting. We didn't even know about this until 20 years ago. And it's just one of the things sleep is quietly doing for you while you're not there. Because the moment you fall asleep, your brain, the organ everyone assumes is off, launches into one of the busiest periods of its entire day. It just works on different jobs it can't do while you're conscious. It rewinds your day. It takes every experience you had, every face you saw, every skill you practiced, and sorts them. Important memories get filed into long-term storage. Useless ones get deleted. The faces get tagged. The skills get strengthened. Sleep is when your brain actually saves what you've learned, and it doesn't do this in one go. Across the night, your brain cycles through 4 distinct stages of sleep, again and again, roughly every 90 minutes. You drift down through light sleep into deeper and deeper levels, your heart rate slowing, your muscles loosening, your brain waves stretching out like long, slow ocean swells. Then, abruptly, you climb back up into something completely different, a stage called REM sleep, where your eyes start darting around behind your closed lids, your body becomes temporarily paralyzed, and your brain lights up almost as much as it does when you're awake. That's when most of the vivid dreaming happens. Every single night, you ride this roller coaster 4 or 5 times, down into the deep, back up into the strange, and you remember none of it. And then there's the cleaning. Those toxic chemicals I mentioned, while you're awake, your brain produces them constantly, and they build up between your cells. There's only one time your brain is allowed to wash them out. Sleep. A network of tiny channels opens up. Your brain literally shrinks slightly, and a flood of fluid rinses the waste away. Sleep, in other words, is when your brain takes itself to the car wash, and we pay rent on bedrooms we are unconscious in. 25 years. Just gone. So picture a human who never slept. The first day, you'd feel incredible. 24 hours awake is normal. Most people have done it. Day 2, you're tired. Foggy, like you've had a few drinks. By day 3, your reaction time has actually dropped to the level of a drunk driver. Not kind of. Measurably. By day 4, the hallucinations start. People who push past this begin seeing things in the corner of their eye, hearing voices, watching the walls breathe. By the end of 1 full week, the human brain cannot reliably tell the difference between what is real and what isn't. We actually know what this looks like because someone tried it. In 1964, a 17-year-old American student named Randy Gardner decided to find out, for a school science fair, just how long a person could stay awake. He made it 11 days, 264 straight hours with 0 sleep. By the end of it, scientists studying him said he had become essentially unreachable, short-term memory gone, speech slurred, hallucinating, paranoid, his face blank. He'd believed he was a famous football player, he'd forgotten what he was doing mid-sentence, and he was a fit, healthy teenager. That's 11 days. Now picture a human who could never, ever stop. Because there is a worst version of all this. There is a rare genetic disease called fatal familial insomnia. It runs in families. One day, in middle age, the sufferer simply stops being able to sleep. Ever. Within months, they lose their mind. Within a year, almost all of them are dead. Total sleeplessness isn't a superpower. It's a death sentence, delivered slowly, through your own skull. But here's where it gets fascinating, because evolution actually tried this experiment. There are real animals on this planet that have rewritten the rules of sleep entirely, and what they came up with is borderline science fiction. Dolphins sleep with only half of their brain at a time. The other half stays awake to keep them swimming and breathing. One eye open, one eye closed, drifting through the dark ocean for hours, half conscious. Imagine trying to do that at work. Frigate birds, which fly continuously for weeks without ever landing, sleep in tiny 10-second bursts mid-flight, actually gliding through clouds with one eye shut. There are sharks that essentially never fully stop, drifting through the deep in a state of constant low-grade rest. And then there are the stranger ones. Bats sleep hanging upside down for 19 hours a day, their tiny claws locked in place automatically so they don't have to think about not falling. Horses sleep standing up with a clever locking mechanism in their legs so they don't collapse, ready to run from a predator the instant they wake. Ducks sleep in long rows along the water, and the ducks on the outside of the row sleep with one eye open, watching for danger, while the ducks in the middle get to sleep normally. They take it in turns, a literal night shift. But notice something important about every one of them. Not one of them gave up rest entirely. Every single creature that found a workaround still has to power down some part of itself, somewhere, sometime. Even the toughest survivors on this planet have never escaped the need to switch off, which leads to the deepest mystery in the whole subject, the one nobody can actually answer. We don't know why we dream. For a third of every night, your brain throws up a feature film. Vivid, emotional, impossible scenes. You can fly, you can fall, you can speak to the dead, you can be back at school, naked with an exam you didn't revise for. And then you wake up, and within minutes it's gone, dissolving like fog, and you go and brush your teeth. Nobody, not a single scientist on Earth, can tell you for certain why this happens. There are theories. Some say it's how we rehearse for danger. Some say it's how we process our emotions. Some think it's the brain stress testing what it learned that day. But the truth is, every single night, billions of human beings shut their eyes and slip into a private hallucination that no one else can ever see. And nobody really knows what it's for. And dreams are only one of the strange things happening in there. Some people experience sleep paralysis. They wake up, but their body is still locked in the paralysis that protects them while they dream. And for a few terrifying seconds, they cannot move. Others have learned to lucid dream, to become aware they are dreaming mid-dream and take control of the story. Some, just on the edge of falling asleep, see vivid little hallucinations, faces, landscapes, scenes that don't exist. The brain, right at the border between awake and asleep, briefly forgets which rules to follow. And we go through all of this, these strange, mostly unremembered experiences, every single night of our lives. Without sleep, you would lose all of it. No dreams, no quiet ocean of memory consolidating in the dark, no nightly visit to wherever it is your mind goes when you're not using it. Because here's what we forget. You are not the same person you were when you went to bed last night. The you that woke up this morning was rebuilt overnight. Your memories resorted. Your emotions cooled down. Your brain physically reset. Every single morning of your life, you wake up as a slightly new version of yourself. Sleep is when the old you is taken apart, cleaned, and put back together. To never sleep would be to never be remade. You would simply keep accumulating, the same exhausted, unchanged person, until something inside you finally snapped. So when you close your eyes tonight, don't resent it. That's not lost time. That's your body assembling the next version of you, in the dark, while you lie still. 25 years of your life will be spent in this strange, quiet place. Not awake, not gone, just somewhere else. The one place every human being on Earth visits, every single night, and forgets the moment they leave. And maybe that's why we go. Not just to rest, not just to clean, but to vanish, briefly, from the loud, exhausting business of being a person, and come back as someone new.